They can never keep me down, I'm going. And if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up. I bet when I land, they gon' tell me it's luck again. See that I'm winning, it's harder to watch. I'm setting the stage, you should give me my props. You ain't got a soul, you lacking the spirit. You talk out your neck, I'ma show you I'm with it. I don't really hate for you to sit and watch me win again and win again and win again. I know it's probably getting on me and when I'm synonym. So if I ever win again, just know I did the minimum. I didn't have to sell my soul. Oh, please don't play no games with me. It was never about the fame to me. They needed the best, so they came to me. Whoa, who the best in this thing? Tell them, yeah, that's me. Tell them who bring the vibe, say, yeah, that's me. Make it bang, ooh, yeah, that's me. Who make the party feel alive, tell them, yeah, that's me. My girl's so proud of your boy when they ask, is that your man? Yeah, that's me. And if I'm taking a shot, I don't miss. Who knew I would be at the top like this? And no one made my goals for me. But I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Cause it's the path that God chose for me. So even if some doors close for me, I still won't let y'all close to me. So please step back where you're supposed to be. Put the game all on hold for me. And sit back, watch me roast the beat. It's in my genes, I'm better than them. And I know my flow too sick, I got the medicine. I'm way at the top, who could take my place? I went too hard, can't feel my face. Who the best in this thing? Tell them, yeah, that's me. Tell them who bring the vibe, say, yeah, that's me. Who make it flip, make it bang, ooh, yeah, that's me. Who make the party feel alive, tell them, yeah, that's me. Whoa, yeah, ooh, yeah, that's me. Who that chillin' at the top, tell them,
yeah, that's me.
Yeah, yeah, tell them, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'm chillin' at the top, ooh, yeah, that's me.
Woo! I love it. I will never get tired of that song. I absolutely love that song. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to a random, seriously, spontaneously random live here on YouTube. I was getting ready to pack up the night, friends. I was ready to pack up the night and go upstairs and call it quits for the day, you know? And I went to YouTube to check to see if I broadcast an archive episode today, which I did not, and I couldn't remember. And I saw my subscriber count at the time was 19,987. Now it's 988. And I was like, holy crap. Like, if I go to bed now, I could wake up tomorrow morning and be at 20,000 subscribers, and I would miss it. And then I was like, you know what? We should celebrate this with everybody here. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I have no idea. We're going to have some fun, though, and we're going to go live tonight to celebrate 20,000 subscribers. Hopefully, we break 20,000 subscribers while we're here live. That would be amazing. Let me see here. Let me pull up some things. Why is that not showing? Okay, let's see here. Put this over here. Boom. There you go. Bang. Look at that, guys. That's the live counter right there on the screen for you, so you can watch with me. When somebody subscribes, that number will change immediately like it just did. It's at 19,989 subscribers since the last time I've said it. Here we go. We're 11 subscribers away from 20 freaking thousand subscribers. Look what hard work can get you. Pat myself on the back. I am pumped. Let's go. So I hope you guys are, relaxing, getting ready to wind down for the holiday, getting ready to consume a good amount of food. Nothing, too crazy, but just, a proper portion. Let's see if we can bring in some. I'm not feeling that tune. Let's change it up here real quick. Not feeling that either. I'm trying to pull up some tunes here for us so that we can just kind of vibe out. Okay. I like it. Welcome to the chill session with the Confessionals, where we are about to break 20,000. There we go. Yeah. I dig it. Okay. Let's go. We're marching, friends. Almost 20,000 subs, and we're going to do it tonight. Let's do it tonight. Take the link to this video right now. Share it in your Facebook groups. Share it in your text messages. Share it with everybody that you think might just throw us a bone and hit subscribe, because we want to break 20,000 subscribers right now, tonight, on this live. I wasn't planning on this. I was about to go upstairs and take a shower and go to bed. But my gosh, when we're 11,000 from 11 subscribers from 20,000. Wow. Let's do it. So share it. Should we change the tunes up a little bit? I think we should. I'm not vibing here. Let's see what else we can find here. I don't want to get hit, by the powers that be. Let's try. There we go. Let's do some holiday smooth jazz, huh? I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, that's it right there. That's right there. Oh, we got another subscriber. We're 10,000 away. Why do I keep doing that? 10 subscribers away from 20,000 subs. Let's go. We might break 20,000 subscribers relatively quickly. Tell your family to come to the Confessionals YouTube channel right now. Hang out with us and throw us some bones. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching right now, hit the freaking like button. Let's see here. What do we got? Current viewers, 31, 16 likes. Come on, guys. Just hit the thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything. I don't need to earn your thumbs up. Just hit the thumbs up. All right? I'm here just hanging out with you guys. We're going to do some fun stuff here. Just trying to get my bearings straight. A lot of new technology on this side. I got a new computer not too long ago. I got this new mixer board. It's been giving me fits. I don't really like the sound of my voice in the mixer board. I've been tweaking it. I think I got it a little better, but frustrating sometimes. So, guys, I'm really proud of you for, hanging in there with me over the years. We've been at it for almost 5 years. I started on January 19th, 2017. It's going to be 5 years in a couple months, and time flew by. Now, if you're new here and you just found the Confessionals on YouTube, you're like, what are you talking about? You just started. No, I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a while. And it's fun. We've had our highs and we've had our lows. I've almost quit the show a couple times because of the stress, the amount of work it took, the long nights of no sleeping, driving a truck the next day, the kids, all that. But we hung out, hung in there, and now we're cooking. We are cooking. So, 19,991 subscribers. We are 9 subscribers away from hitting that 20,000 mark. Thank you very much, guys, for being here and chilling. Let's see here. I'm really not vibing here with this music. I wish I would have planned the music beforehand. I just started flipping through stuff. Let's try that. We'll try that. Either way, it's a good day. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! 6 away! We're 6 away! When we hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm opening the freaking phone lines. I'm opening the phone lines at 20,000 subs. Let's go. Let's go. You guys are killing it. Round of applause. That's all you. That's all you. You did that. I love it. I freaking love it. Let's go. You guys did it. Tony, you have a great show. I only have a great show because I have a great audience. You guys show up, and that's why we're almost at 20,000. 5 away. Let's go. 19,995 subs. 5 more subs. We hit that 20,000 mark. We're opening the phone lines. We're going to pop some water bottles, and we're going to have some fun. You bring the topic. We'll talk about it. Let's go. Get hype. 4 away. 19,996. I am loving this. 20,000. Are you freaking kidding me? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. If you're watching right now, you're not subbed, you're a fraud. Get gone. Get gone. Let's go. Let's go. I want to open these phone lines. I want to celebrate. You guys are the reason we're here. I create the platform. You guys came. Let's go. Let's go. Love it. I'm going to turn some of this down, though, because just not vibing with the smooth jazz tonight. I can't play what I want to play. So we're just going to turn that down. Let's go. I'm opening these phone lines, guys. I am opening these phone lines as soon as we hit 20,000. Come on now. I want to hear from you. I want you to call in. I want you to celebrate. I want you to bring a topic. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about it because we're 3 away from 20,000 subs. 19,997 subs. I dig it. Let's go. Oh, who's the fraud that unsubscribed? Come on now. I knew somebody was going to do that. I knew somebody was going to be like, oh, yeah, let's hit that 20,000 and I'll unsubscribe. Listen, straight up, let's get to 20,000. Let's do it. Let's overpower the frauds who are unsubscribing just to be frauds. Let's go, guys. Come on now. Come on. Don't make me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be cussing up a storm here. Oh, man. Let's go, guys. Here we go. 3 more left. 3 more left. Listen. If we hit 20,000 subs and you guys start dropping off on me, I'm closing these phone lines. Look at you, frauds. Look at you, frauds. Frauds. Trying to hold back the confessionals? Are you serious? You know what? I am glad. I'm glad the frauds are finally unsubbing. Let's go. Which means we'll have less thumbs down. Which I dig the thumbs down, by the way. I dig the thumbs down, by the way. For sure. What is that? Oh, I forgot I had those pop-ups for the subs. Look at that. There comes the pop-ups for the subs. I forgot we had the pop-ups for the subs. There we go. Shout out to the subs coming in. Let me make something bigger here. Let's see here. There we go. I think that'll work. All right. Working on some tech over here. Oh, my God. 2 away. We are 2 away. You guys are killing it. Ooh, you're killing it. 20,000. Oh, we got one more. Oh, my gosh. Where's the wine? I should have brought wine down here. This is freaking bananas. I didn't think I'd get this excited. Let's go. 20,000. Who's the lucky 20,000? Who's the lucky 20,000? Come on now. Oh, come on. 20,000! Let's go! Let's go. 20,001. 20,001. Keep it going. 20,002. 20,002. Keep that going up. Let's go. We ain't got no more frauds in here, friends. Let's go. 20,000. Oh, the frauds are here. Keep it jacking up. Let's go. 20,000. Woo. Woo. You guys did it. You guys freaking did it. Let's go. Let's go. 20,000 subs. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? As LeBron would say, I'm just a kid from Akron. I'm just a kid from Hamburg, Pennsylvania, living big dreams over here. Let's go. Jeez. We broke 20,000 subs. Live. You know what that means? Listen, I don't care if the frauds come in here and they unsubscribe. I know, listen, we just broke 20,000. We just dropped under 20,000. It's cool because you know what's going to happen? Accumulation. Guarantee you in a week from now, we're going to be at 20,200. You know why? Because you guys are killing it. So I don't even care. We're going to keep this bad boy going. Look at that. Shout out to Kings, Kane and Cookies and Crafts for becoming a channel member. Shout out to you guys. Listen, don't do it. Don't do it. Get that back up to 20,000. Get that back up to 20,000. I'll be here all night long. I don't even care. You know what? I'm not opening the phone lines yet until we get that to 20,000 again. Let's go. This ain't no game. We're doing this. 20,000. I can't believe we broke 20,000. Shut up, Tony. You're going to open the phone line. Call in right now. Call that freaking phone line right now. I don't care who you are, what you want to talk about. Don't call to tell me your dark, long stories. We're not doing that. We're doing a celebration tonight. Just call in. Let's have some fun conversation. Let's have some fun. 20,000 subs. Let's go. No fraud zone. Let's do this. Let's go. No Cash says Tony's gone ape shit. Yeah. I went ape shit already. That's right. Let's go. Call into the show, guys. All right. Let's see here. Phone lines are open, and we got ourselves
and Bigfoot. Hey, Tony.
Hey,
Merkel.
what's going on, man? What's going on?
Not too much. I want to congratulate you on your 20,000 subscriber count there.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Isn't it freaking awesome?
And it is awesome. I think it really is. And yeah, I was listening to one of your podcasts earlier about the Amish and witchcraft. Oh, yeah. My God, I had no idea.
Well, here's the thing. So I've had some pushback on that episode. Some people have said that the Amish aren't in witchcraft. I don't know. I'm just going with what Patrick said. I have heard, it's not even hearing. I know that in the settler days, you know, before Pennsylvania was called Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Dutch, the Dutch that were here, heavily involved in hexing and powwows and things like that. So it's not a far stretch for me to think that a community that's living like back then would participate in such things. But I've had some people who I really do trust to tell me otherwise. So either way, it was a good show though, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a subject that it's never been brought to my attention. It was very interesting to listen to, and it really reinforces my mistrust for the Amish. They've always been shady people. I'm just kidding.
Hey, the great thing is,
your night, man.
Hey, the great thing is they're not listening to you right now. So
hopefully not.
Well, no, they don't use internet and computers and stuff, man. So. What's your name?
Who knows? Aaron.
Aaron, man. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it, brother.
Yep. Thank you, Tony Merkel. Thanks for picking up.
Thanks for calling and thanks for listening, bro. You guys make it happen. Thank you.
No problem. See you later.
See you. All right, we had Aaron up there. He took care of business to get this whole thing started. Call in right now and celebrate with me because today we break 20,000. It's going up and down because we got the people that are popping in to see it go up and then they drop off to see it drop down and they're playing games. It's cool with me. Bottom line is you can't stop the inevitable. I promise you this time next year we're going to be at 50,000. You watch. All right, so next up, we got Laura coming on the show. We have Laura coming on the show. Laura. How is Laura? Laura, what's going on?
I'm good. How are you, Tony? Congratulations.
Listen, I can't I can't tell you. I can't tell you how much fun this is. I mean, I had this, so I actually had a different YouTube channel, and there was problems with it. YouTube was giving me issues with it, so I just deleted the whole thing. I opened up another YouTube channel, and I uploaded like 20 videos to it over the last like 3 years, and that was that. I just it just sat there dormant, and then I got a notification from YouTube saying that they fixed the issues with my channel, and I was like, all right, let me just try to see if I can, try with YouTube this year. And in March, I started trying, and we've grown 10,000 subs since March, so very happy with that.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. I am so happy for you right now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So what's going on with you? I know you're out there. Was it West? No, you're near Altoona, right?
No, I'm like 2 hours north of you. No, 1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour north of me.
Yeah, I went on the trip with you guys.
I know. I thought you were further.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were further out though.
No, I'm by the Poconos.
Okay, gotcha. Stroudsburg, right?
Close to there.
Okay, that's just what it says in my caller ID. That's what I'm just reading the caller ID.
Yeah, well that's what my phone number comes up as. Yeah.
Yeah. So, listen, I appreciate you calling in, and I'm real happy about this. I'm really happy about this. Laura, I will tell you, I was talking with Creed, and it looks like we're scheduling probably about 3 more trips next year, so you might be interested in some of them. We were going to stay at the Lizzie Borden house for a night, but I think that might be falling through. But we're going to be staying, I know we're going to be doing Wilson Castle, a haunted hotel. I forget what else he was talking about, but it's going to be fun. So, keep your ear out for that if you're interested in coming on another trip.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds awesome. Definitely down for that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun last time. So, yeah. All right. Well, Laura, I'm going to let you go.
Alrighty. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks for calling and saying hi.
Yep. Alrighty. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Will do. You too. See you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. That was awesome. Yeah, Laura, she came and hung out with us on the trip to the Burnbrae Mansion that we did back in June. I think we took like 17 people. And yeah, I think we took about like I think it might have been 14. Joe says, what's the call-in number? Joe, look at your screen. It's right there. Actually, I should move this caller number over, by the way. Let's see here. Let me do this. But yeah, Laura came out to the Burnbrae Mansion with us, and that was a lot of fun. It was up in New York, and haunted mansion. Haunted things happen in haunted mansions. Come on. They can make it a little easier. Okay, that's going to be fine. There we go. Move the number over. I think that should stay out of the subscriber count thing. Let me make it a little smaller there. There we go. Cool. 20,000 subs, guys. It's crazy. Let's bring on another caller here now that I'm done fiddling with OBS and all that nonsense. Caller, what's going on?
Congratulations on 20,000, Tony.
Thank you very much. Who am I talking to?
You're talking to Joe Olin.
Joe, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I've been listening to you for 2 years. Just to see you so happy tonight really brings, I don't know, a sense of warmth into my soul right now.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Listen, like, in all honesty, like, it's 20,000 subs. It's like, oh, good job, Tony. But it's like more like good job us. We did it all together. You know what I mean? Like, right now, if you weren't subbed to the channel, I'd be at 20,001, not 20,002. So it's a collective, and that's why even with the listeners of the show and what I've built over the last 5 years, like listen, I put out the stuff, like I put the work in, I do all the interviews, like I'm scheduled for 11 interviews this week alone. Like I do a lot of interviewing, I do a lot of production, but it all falls by the side if nobody listens. And so as much of this as a celebration for, the Confessionals, it's also a celebration for every listener that's out there that listens to the show and has been a loyal listener for years. It's a shout out to you guys too, for real.
Well, you definitely put in your A game, the music, the intros, it's above, it's right around there with Wes over from Sasquatch Chronicles. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't know.
There's plenty of other channels that have been around for a long time that don't even have close to 20,000 subscribers. So
yeah, I don't,
kudos, brother.
I don't know who this Wes is, but yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
yeah.
I'll tell you what. There's a podcaster out there that I'm involved with. I produce his show. There's podcasters out there that don't want to be publicly tied to me, and that's fine. I produce their shows. There's others that do, and one of them that does is Charlie Robinson from Macroaggressions, and his intro for his show we did, and it's better than mine. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. My
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, that show's not for the faint of heart, he gets into heavy topics. So if you're easily offended, I would suggest people not listening, but the show intro is awesome, and we had it taken care of it over here. And when we put that out and stuff, I was like, this is going to be a legendary intro. And it was. Like, people talk about the intro all the time. So I personally feel like his intro is better than mine. But either way, I like my intro anyways. So, hey, I'm thinking about changing my logo to the show at some point, too. I was thinking about maybe for episode 500 coming out with a new logo design. I'm kicking around the idea just because we're a paranormal show. But if you look at the logo and the name, the Confessionals, it's like, what do they talk about? So
Yeah.
I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change the name of the show, but maybe I can imagery wise make it more apparent as to what we do. But
make it something cool so you can sell shirts.
Yeah,
shirts and hats or whatever.
Yeah, like we sell shirts and stuff. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we sell shirts and stuff. We have a whole store on the website that I don't promote nearly as much as I should, I guess. But one of the things I don't wear my apparel because it's weird wearing my face when I have my face, So it's kind of just it's weird for me. But I figured a new logo might be in order here for maybe episode 500. We got about 500 episodes to go, or not 500, 100 episodes to go, essentially. I'm planning something special for 500. So if it all falls through or it goes through okay, it's going to be a legendary thing. And maybe we'll reveal a new logo for that one. So, yeah. But anyways, man, I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on the witchcraft and the Amish real quick. I'm a little bit familiar with that.
Okay.
So the Amish, they don't, and the people that know about the Amish, they don't actually call it witchcraft, but it is what they're doing. It's witchcraft, actually. It's, they're casting spells and everything, but they consider it to be white magic, right? So there's a lot of people that don't realize that that's going on because the Amish are so wholesome and old school, right? But it's their own certain type of witchcraft and certain sets of them that they do. So not a lot of people have ever heard about it. I was surprised to hear it on your show, but, I grew up in Illinois and there's Amish there, and I was friends with some of them. They touched on this before.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I listen. My show is like a smorgasbord. You know, like I talk to all types of people. I let people bring their stories, and their worldviews to the table. It is not a debate show. I don't debate people. I don't try to argue with people. So I've gotten away from this, but I used to be very stern on it. Before I would start an interview, I'd tell people, listen, when I hit record, make sure you mean what you say, because what you say is going to be on the show unless you ask me to take like somebody's name out or take something out or something like that. This is going to be, you know, just make sure you mean what you say, because I don't censor the guests. I don't edit the guests out. If they say it, it goes, and it doesn't matter if I agree with them or not. It's what they said. It's going. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I approach the show, and I'm not going to change that. I mean, the show is like a search engine database of anything paranormal or weird. You know, like we talk about all the stuff. Like next Tuesday's show, I'm going to be airing. Is it next Tuesday? Yeah, next Tuesday's show is going to be the CEO of the Randonautica app, and I interviewed him, and that was a freaking fun conversation. But I know I'm gonna get emails from people saying, I can't believe you had him on. Well, listen. Come back next week, maybe you'll like that show. You know, so I don't know what to tell you. So but
yeah, right.
You know, I appreciate you chiming in and sharing your opinion and your experiences and stuff with that. It's interesting. I don't know. I live not far from Amish country, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's tons of Amish. Where I grew up, there was a lot of Mennonites, which aren't, well, I wouldn't say they're the same, but, you know, like, it depends on what kind of Mennonite you're talking about. Like, there's Mennonite churches where people go to that are, like, very modern, but then, like, there's also the Mennonites where I grew up that were in horse and buggy, you know? And so it's a very, you know, I've had interactions with them, limited interactions. It seems like they keep to themselves. But yeah. Anyways, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, bye-bye.
See you. Oh, yeah. Fun times. Melissa, I'll get to you in a second. We got Melissa on the line. Yeah, so next week we got Randonautica coming up, and Josh, the CEO, came on with me, and we talked for almost 2 hours. That'll be next Tuesday, and it was an interesting conversation for sure. I think we are hitting a point where I think scientific understanding is either making a transition right now where the leap from what we know to the science that is coming is going to look like it's paranormal until we understand it more, or the science that is coming is getting closer to being paranormal and not just looking like it till we understand it, but maybe it is getting closer to being paranormal. I don't know. Before we bring on Melissa, keep the phone lines coming, friends. If you guys are watching right now, I appreciate it. If you want to share this, go for it. I forgot until just now. I wanted to go live on Instagram and let the people know to come on over and join the party. So I'm going to go live right now. Bang. Done. There we go. Flip my camera around. There it is. Cool. So I forget what I was talking about. So let's bring on Melissa here. All right. We're going to bring on Melissa. Melissa, how are you?
Oh, good. Congratulations on your subscriber count. So cool.
Thank you.
And it's Alicia. A-L-I-C-I-A.
Oh, okay. Well, the artificial.
Let's go. I have one of those names.
It's the artificial intelligence that I have working for me on my studio here. Heard Melissa, and so I apologize, Alyssa. I appreciate you calling, and thank you for the kind sentiments. And like I said before, it's not just me, it's you guys. Without you guys listening, we're at zero. So I appreciate you guys as well. And that's why I did the whole live, because I was like, why not celebrate it live with people, you know? Like, shoot, I don't want to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I broke 20,000 and I'm by myself. Let's do this together, you know?
Well, my husband's been a longtime fan, and he's been a subscriber forever. And while we were listening to you, and we saw you go live, and then you were saying, "Oh, I'm so close," so I'm like, "I have to subscribe." And then you said, "Oh, let's open it live." And it's just so crazy because we were listening to the Amish episode earlier, because my husband said, "Oh, you got to hear this. You got to hear this," because we actually met at an Amish restaurant.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I grew up around Amish. I had an Amish babysitter. My dad worked with some Amish guys, and we actually got invited to join the Amish church when I was a kid, but my parents are like very religious, but not that religious. So they were like, "No, that's all right. We're good with our tractors. We're cool." So, but I worked with some Amish people, and I even worked with some people from Holmes County, and I just like this whole thing. I was just like, wow, this is crazy, because they give you this vibe that they're very superior and very wholesome and very just better than you, and they talk about you behind your back in Dutch, and like you're sort of like in with them, but you're not in with them. And we had an Amish farrier. Our barn was built by like a Mennonite guy that used to be Amish. And it just makes me want to talk to all of them and be like, hey, is this true? Like, I even had an Amish guy ask me out. So it's just like, you know, I just grew up around them. So to me, they're just like a little weird, but they were just always there. So I just got to know more now, and I got to read this book. And I just wanted to tell you, your episodes are just so great, and they really are moving. And the Dogman episode, and I'm so excited about your documentary. But I told the Dogman episode while we were camping at Carter Caves, Kentucky, and I told the story, and one of the little girls that was in our group had nightmares and couldn't sleep that night, and I felt so bad. But I guess I was doing it just really well. But she had nightmares and she couldn't sleep, and I felt terrible.
Well, imagine if you would have let that little girl listen to the episode. I mean, talk about...
I know.
I mean, I don't think...
The hairs on my arms were standing up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Jake, please.
Yeah. Like I don't think anybody could have told that story better than Kyle himself. I mean, obviously he experienced it and stuff, but the way he tells the story, he's a fantastic storyteller, and
storyteller, yeah.
And the way his email read to me was very much like the way you heard it. Like I literally was just getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the screen. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. This is crazy town. And I got
a ghost story to tell you too.
All right, shoot.
If that's all right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
A lot. Well, my husband, he works with old antique guns from World War I, World War II, and Korea. And his boss buys lots of bulk from Europe. Like, he bought like a bunch of barrels full of old parts from Greece when they were going through their economic crisis. And so like the government was just selling old weapons. And he sorts through them. He is around them. Like, he's just constantly around all this antique weaponry. And one day he was walking through the warehouse and something grabbed the back of his hoodie and yanked him. And he said he took a full step back, and then he looked behind him to see what had grabbed him or what his shirt had snagged on. There was nothing behind him.
Common stories, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, so when people talk about these experiences where they get something tugs on them, something flies off the shelf. So I have like I have questions because when I talk to people, like, or not even talk to people, but when you watch like these TV shows where they're doing the paranormal investigation stuff, right? They'll unscrew the light, right, until it's just barely not touching the battery, so that it doesn't take a whole lot of energy to turn the light on. It's just like, if you're here, just turn that light just a little bit and it'll turn on. We'll know you're here. And I'm like, well, how come I have a lot of people saying that they've been pushed, shoved, their shirt's been pulled, their hair's been pulled? Like you do see on TV the scratches and stuff, but like I wonder what the disconnect is there with some investigating, where it's like, please just touch this a little bit, and like they pretty much do the work for the ghost. And then there's other experiences where people are like, dude, I got shoved down the stairs, I got drugged down the hall. Like Melissa from episode 175, like she straight up got drugged out of her bed down the hall. I mean, that's a lot of energy. And so like when people are saying like, it takes a lot of energy just to turn the light on, I'm like, then how did Melissa get drugged down the hall? How does the shirts get pulled? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. That's why
maybe just a burst, like saving up energy for like 10 years just so they could like do something really big. I mean, you don't know. I mean, we don't know. You get these like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and you're just like, is there something behind me? But nothing's behind me.
And that's why like I feel like there's so much more to learn, understand from this stuff than what we actually have at our fingertips or in our minds right now. I just feel like we don't know nearly as much as we should know, or we'd like to know, or what that we think we know. Like I think it's way more complex. And again, that's why I do. That's
why sharing is cool.
That's why what?
Sharing is cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's
everyone sharing their stories, and people like you that you give us the opportunity to hear other people's stories and to experience it for ourselves, like almost, but through the storytelling. And it's really cool. I really enjoy the show, and congratulations. Like, it's really exciting for you, Tony. Happy for you.
I appreciate it. That's why I do the show. That's really why I do the show, because I don't think we got it all figured out. And the way we're going to do it is people coming forward that experienced it, talking about it. You know what I mean? Like when a crime happens, right? Let's say something bad happens to somebody, a crime happens. What happens then? The police go and they investigate. They ask people, hey, you saw that? Yeah, I saw it. What'd you see? Tell me what happened. Why do they do that? Because they're trying to get a big picture of things. That's what we do with the show. Like people come forward, they say, yeah, I saw that. What'd you see? Tell me what you saw. I want to know. That's it. And together we
like my great aunt, she lived in the Licking County Jail in Ohio. Like her dad was the sheriff, and Ghost Adventures did an episode in the jailhouse. And it was just really weird for me because we lived near there, and I found out about it the day after, and I was so bummed out because I could have walked over there and seen it. But my great aunt said she lived there. It's not haunted. So, but then other people were claiming, oh, it's haunted. So you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot. So I think I said it. I feel like I heard me say this recently. So I think it was either on one of the shows this week or a show that I'm broadcasting next week that I was editing. I can't remember where I said this though. But that's exactly it. I think there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on around us all the time. And I just think that it's not a matter of, this house being haunted and this house not being haunted. I think that this stuff happens everywhere all the time. It's just, I think we might be more sensitive. Some people might be more sensitive than others. Now, granted, there's not a whole lot to sense when a door gets slammed shut. Like I talked about it on the show I did with Patrick. Like my bedroom door straight up slammed shut a couple weeks ago. Like that happened. And there's no reason or explanation for that. The only thing I can figure is that what he said, when people interview him, they experience paranormal stuff before or after. That's what happened. Haven't experienced it since. I don't feel like my house is haunted. I'm pretty groovy over here, I think she's gone. Yep, she's gone. Must have dropped her. I'm sorry. Stupid call-in studio. What am I paying you money for if you're gonna drop my callers like that? I feel bad, but I hope she understands. I'm sure she understands. I didn't hang up on her. Hey, Donnie Cho. Shout out to Johnny Cho. Thank you, Donnie Cho, for the super chat. Donnie Cho says, ghosts kick, push, scratch, slap. I don't understand why ghosts don't just go around kicking people in the balls. It's a great question, John. Listen, Donnie, this is, all right. Donnie, this is why I like you. Because you think outside the box, okay? Everybody's talking about 3 scratches on their back. Everybody's talking about their hair being pulled, their shirts being pulled, maybe even being pantsed. Has anybody ever experienced getting kicked in the nuts by a ghost? I mean, that's a great point. Shout out to all the listeners, all the viewers, 20,000 subs. If you're watching right now on Instagram, head on over to YouTube if you want to join the conversation in the chat over there. We're live, and there's a live call-in number. You can call in live, but I'm going to end it here on Instagram because we're YouTubing tonight. All right, I'm back with the YouTubers. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me here a little bit. We're going to keep it going a little bit more, see what happens. I talked to you about Randonautica. Okay, cool. So, listen, friends, I have a great opportunity coming up here relatively soon. I'm working on a lot of different things. I got irons in the fire. I'm doing a bunch of different things, documentaries. How much can I tell you? All right, I'm going to just start talking, and I'll stop myself at some point, I'm sure. Okay, so I sat down to do an interview about 2 weeks ago that blew my mind, and I sat down thinking this was going to be a short interview where we were going to talk about this person's excuse me, I got indigestion tonight. It's the 20,000 subs that does it to you. I thought we were going to be talking about just one person's paranormal experience one time, and it turns out that it was a little connected to a very big story, and then another sub-story connected to that big story, and it got really deep, really bizarre, really fascinating and intriguing. And it was one of the few times that listen to me. I can't even talk. Bold claims were made, and there were people in this world that should be able to back up those bold claims. And if they could back those bold claims up, it would legitimize this story to another level, a tier of its own. The story was so out of this world, so out there, like mind-blowing, holy crap, that I had to follow up. I was like, this is a fantastic story. When I stopped recording, I told the guest, I said, if you're lying to me, I'm going to be pissed because this is a great story. And they said, I'm not lying. So I pursued my investigation. And I'm looking, by the way, if you like, why is he looking? Because I have like 3 screens, and I'm looking at the chat and everything over here. I should be looking over here. There's nothing here. Anyways, I should be looking here, but I'm not going to do that. It's weird looking at the camera. So I started looking into what they told me, and I connected with somebody that didn't know my guest, but my guest knew who they were, and I tracked that person down, and I messaged that person in an email. They got back to me. We went back and forth a little bit, and they agreed to do a phone call with me. And when I got on the phone with them, I was on the phone with them for 2.5 hours, and they backed up this person's claims 100% and added more details, a lot more details that I was just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What? And so I started contacting other people who have been on this show, because this involves stories we've already heard on this show. And I started contacting people that we've had on the show. Some of them said, no, I've never heard of it, or I've never seen it. And then some other people have said the opposite. And I did phone calls with them. And then I find somebody in South Africa that I'm trying to get comfortable talking to me. This is a bizarre story. And I know it's very, very vague what I'm giving you, but it's I literally think about it every day, multiple times. I have stuff right outside camera view here of things I'm working on with this story. And it's just crazy. And so basically it is going to be its own, more than likely, unless some things happen and whatever falls through, more than likely, I am literally going to create a whole other show just for this story. And it's going to be a limited series, just a mini series, maybe 6 episodes, maybe 10 episodes, maybe 10 episodes, 2 seasons. I'm not sure, but this is such a big story, has potential to be huge, multiple characters, multiple people, multiple locations, that I can't do it in one episode. And I also don't think it would be good to do multiple episodes with other non-related episodes in between the broadcast, because I'm not going to just broadcast 6, 10, 20 weeks straight of one story. I'm not doing that. That would kill everything that I do as far as the variety of my show. So I think I'm going to just I'm just going to make a whole other show just for this one thing. That way, if you want to listen to it, you can start on episode 1 and just boom, 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 all in order. And if you're like, this is crazy, my mind's being blown, you can take that link on any podcast playing app and you can share it with anybody you want so that they can listen to it and have their mind blown too. And I'm probably going to more than likely do a docu-series on it where, this is going to involve Legion of Legends, and we're going to probably do a whole season or 2 of investigations. I'm trying to plan it all out now as to how it should all work. Do I do the podcast first? Do I do it simultaneously? I don't know. But yeah, we're working on that, and it's just bonkers. It's just bonkers. So we got that going. I think it's the first Tuesday in December. We are going to be doing one of the best treasure hunting stories you've ever heard from the people involved. And yes, it involves a cover-up. And so we are going to be doing that show the first week of December. It is going to be an awesome show, because little secret that's not so much of a secret with me, huge into treasure hunting. I love treasure hunting. I love the idea of it. I love people who do it. And it was a great opportunity for me to interview people who are treasure hunters, and they have had some serious success with it, to the point that our own government got involved and crazy things happened. So yeah, that's gonna be really cool. There's a couple other things that I wanted to mention, and I can't think of it right now. Maybe I'll think of it later. But next month, I think December 20th or 21st, I'm scheduled to interview the man who wrote this book, Moon Man. He is his name's Bart. I can't ever remember how to pronounce his last name. I'll get it though. Sibrel, 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 Bart. And he doesn't believe that we landed on the moon. He has some very fascinating takes and viewpoints on it. And what's, I think, one of the most interesting takes is how he has people within our own government on tape talking about how they should kill my guest for doing the things. If you guys ever saw the video or heard of the guy who got punched in the face by why can't I think of his name? Buzz Aldrin. If you remember the guy who got punched in the face by Buzz Aldrin when he was being, grilled, will you swear on the Bible kind of thing? Did you go to the moon? That's my guest. He got punched in the face. And so, but it's his story, the story of a filmmaker on the CIA hit list. And so I'm going to do this interview with him, next month. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really frustrated that I can't remember what I wanted to mention, though. I have, I'm looking at all the stuff on my desk here. Did that. I don't know. But let's get to the phone lines here. We got another caller on the line. So let's bring this caller on and see what they got to say. And they hung up. I would say that they either hung up or my system hung up on them. So caller, if you want, give it another try if you so choose. 20,000. My brain's broken right now. What a crappy live. 20,005 subs. That's great, guys. That's really cool. There we go. Let's see if we can get him on the line now. Caller, you're on. Can you hear me? No. Caller. It says caller hung up. Now they're back. Let's try it one more time, huh? There it is. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Tony?
Hey, listen, was I hanging up on you or you hanging up on me?
Kind of a mix of both.
All right, cool. So who am I talking to, man?
My name's Alex.
How you doing, man?
I'm here. I just got a random question. A while ago, you had a guy on your show that dealt with dream kind of things. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What did he deal with?
Okay. Dream and interpretation kind of things. And I've had one that really sticks out. I'm just kind of curious as to your input. I've tried to get a hold of you before about it, but I don't know if it got lost in the emails or wasn't worth anything. Back in 2011, I had a dream, and ironically enough, it was the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And I happened to see it through three different perspectives, I guess. One from the plane, and then one from the 103rd floor of the tower, and then one from the ground. And it was one of the weirdest. I still get goosebumps just thinking about it now. But I was kind of wondering if you personally thought there's any significance to it as to why,
Well, I mean, so
even 11 years after the fact.
So it was 11 years after 9/11 that happened?
It was 10 years to the day.
Okay.
But 11 years ago that I had it.
I got you.
And
okay.
I still get goosebumps just even thinking about it.
So did it only ever happen one time?
That dream, yeah.
Okay.
But I've never been inside of a plane, but that was hands down the most vivid dream I've ever had in my life.
You know, I mean, I don't know I don't know, but I'm trying to think of who you're talking about as far as the episode. Do you remember what number it was?
I could not tell you off the top of my head right now.
Okay.
But I mean, it's been probably 2 years ago now.
Oh, 2 years ago. So you're talking about Mr. X Dreams then?
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one thing. You're at the right spot because Mr. X Dreams has his YouTube channel. So you can check him out if you want. Yeah, as far as that goes, man, do you think that it was something, does before that, was 9/11 something that you deeply considered and thought about around that time?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I was 6 years old whenever 9/11 happened. So, I mean, like, I remember where I was at whenever I found out about it, but I didn't know the significance until years later.
Yeah. 6 years old, man.
But
shoot, so you're what, 24?
Yeah, I'm only 25.
25? So. Yeah.
25.
That's interesting. So, I wonder what. So you said what floor was it? 102, 103?
The 103rd floor.
103rd floor. Have you ever looked into that as far as like the significance of the 103rd floor of the tower?
I've tried. I couldn't really figure out anything. I mean, I did about whenever I first emailed you about it. I went through and I mean, went to different dream interpretation websites and dictionaries and everything else about New York City and stuff like that, and nothing really seemed accurate to what was going on in my life, I guess. And I've had that and numerous paranormal experiences. So,
in what order did the visions come in? Was it like the plane first, ground first? What was it?
It was plane first. I saw vividly like what the pilots would see in the cockpit. Like I saw straight through the plane. And then I saw the plane hit the tower. And then I went to the 103rd floor, I guess kind of teleported, if you will. And I was walking through the aisleway in between the cubicles. And there's papers flying and sparks and flashing lights, you know. And I get to where the windows are at, and they're all blown out. And I look to my right, and there's a guy holding a picture of his wife and kids, or his wife and his son. And he looks at me, he says, "Man, we're going to get out of here. They're coming for us. It'll be okay." And I just look straight down, and I just kind of free fall. And then I was about 15 feet off the ground, I'd say. And then I went to somebody in the crowd, and I saw my body hit the ground. That's when I woke up.
So, like, you're 15 feet above the ground, and your consciousness in the dream went to somebody else on the ground, and then you saw the body that was falling, that was you, hit the ground?
Yes.
Wow. You know, it's almost, and I'm not saying this is what it is, but if we're going to think outside the box about this, it's almost like there was like some kind of consciousness that you had, or that you were tapping into, that was being relayed from people that were going through the experience. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, honestly.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if it's kind of some kind of projection kind of thing where, you know, somebody was trying to get a hold of their family and say that, you know, everything's okay. Like, we're okay. I'm okay. And it's okay to, you know, or be free of the grieving process, I guess. I don't know if it's that or if it's, and that's what I always kind of felt like it was. Like somebody was trying to reach somebody else and reach their family and say that they are okay. They might not be here, but they are okay.
And they were doing it through you?
I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean, that's how I kind of understood it, and the way I look at it, I feel like there's a dream or a reason behind everything. So,
did you ever get the sense that there was somebody that you should be contacting?
To an extent, yeah, but I have no clue. I'm not even from the area. I mean, I live in Indiana, so I mean, thousands of miles or about 12 hours away, so.
It's interesting. I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here thinking about the succession of what you experienced, and it does seem like there was some kind of like passing on of a consciousness. I was looking in the chat here, and somebody suggested maybe a reincarnation or past life, but Andrew suggested that. But Andrew, I mean, so Alex, you were born in what, 96? You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the reincarnation side, at least the way I'm thinking about it right now, wouldn't make sense because, like, you were born before the event even happened.
Exactly.
Somebody else just suggested remote viewing. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. Remote viewing through dreams. I think that there's more to the dreams than what I've ever given credit to when I first started podcasting. And actually, to be honest with you, dreams, I'm starting to lose my voice. Dreams play a little bit of a role into the story that I'm working on right now. The consciousness and the gateway to experiences. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, have you ever told anybody else that maybe is like more of like a, I don't know, a dream interpreter?
Whenever I had the dream, I was real prominent in church, and I talked to the pastor about it, and I was like, I don't really know, and he pointed me to somebody inside of the church who was good at that kind of thing, I guess, because I had that gift. And I talked to them, and they told me after about a month of me asking that they honestly had no idea what it was about. So I don't know if they were really who they said they were or who people thought that they were. But beyond that, I haven't reached out to anybody else.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of people that I would trust saying, "Hey, talk to this person." But I would tell you, talk to Mr. Extremes. I would contact him to see if he has any thoughts. I mean, that's really his wheelhouse. And I know you've been listening. I know you've been listening to the show for a while because that show actually got taken down and it's gone. It's disappeared, and so it can't be found anywhere. So I know if you heard it, it means you've been listening for a while.
And I've been listening since about episode like 28, I think.
Oh, jeez, man. Thanks.
Like it was mid-20s, like you had just started.
Yeah, I'd
whenever
say so.
I found you, so.
I'd say so. Freaking mid-20s. I was still trying to figure out what kind of podcaster I was going to be. I was like, listening back to those episodes, I was like, welcome to the show, everybody. You're listening to the Confessionals, and I'm Tony. Thanks for being here. Thanks, guys. Jeepers. I eventually got to the point I was like, I'm sick and tired of trying to be this nice little happy gentle guy. I'm just gonna be myself. I'm just like, welcome to the show. I'm Tony. Let's get into it. So
I've loved it ever since. Like you hooked me in straight away. So
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate everything you do.
Dude,
it gives me something or a really good excitement, enjoyment while I'm at work. So.
Yeah, I'm glad, and I'm glad the show has been able to do that for people over the years. It's something that took me time to get used to. Like it just the idea that people were enjoying something that I was making, because I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, and I've failed at everything. I've sucked at it all, and the idea that this was actually working, I'm just like, wait a second, people actually like something I'm doing. This is weird. Like, what am I doing wrong? You know, like it was so foreign to me. But I'm really glad that people enjoyed the show, and you being around that long, man. Shoot, yeah, that's cool, man. I really appreciate it. You've been around for a long time. Shoot, 28. Wait, like what episode was that? 28. Let me just look that up real quick. Do you remember it all?
No, off the top of my head. I just know it was like mid-20s whenever I started listening to you.
Okay. Well, now I got 28 in my head. Let's see what that is. Oh, no, let's see here. 28. Episode 28, Haunted Hotel. What a title, Haunted Hotel. So we talked to Riley sharing from, let's see here. Let me just click on this and read the description, the half-baked description I probably wrote. Episode 28, Haunted Hotel, features guest Riley sharing some of his strange encounters, including a blue orb he saw appear during Hurricane Sandy and the apparition of a girl that he encountered while investigating a haunted hotel with Joe Chin from Ghost Hunters International and Brian J. Cano from Scared. Dun dun dun. You know, going with the scary podcast, guys. That's the scary podcast, man. Let's do it. Listen, man, Alex, I appreciate you calling, and I would tell you honestly, I think you need to contact you need to contact Mr. X Dreams, and I will text him right now as we talk and tell him to be on the lookout. Actually, let me do this. Let me tell you this right now. Let me go to his YouTube channel. I'll get you the email. It's probably something simple you can remember. Yeah, it's Mr.Xdreams54. And he wasn't born in 1954, and if he is, he's aging fantastic. So, listen, Mr.Xdreams54@gmail.com. Shoot him an email. You can find his email on his YouTube, but I would say he's probably more equipped to handle this dream than me.
I appreciate it, Tony. I really do.
No, man,
I appreciate everything you've done.
I appreciate you calling and giving me a little bit of a mind bend there. I'm looking at what I wrote down here, and you got from the plane to the tower to the ground. It just seems to me, as somebody who really doesn't know anything about dreams and can't even remember his own, like it seems like there was some kind of consciousness that was being passed, like a relay, you know, from one of the event of the plane to the event of the tower to the event of the ground. It just seemed like there was like this consciousness, and in all honesty, if I didn't know any better, like maybe it's the story side of me, but like, what if? Now I'm trying to think. So when you were in the tower, was it like you were alive consciously in the tower?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean.
All right, because I was thinking like maybe it was like somebody who was in the plane that wound up falling out of the tower onto the ground. But if you were conscious in the dream, then unless maybe somebody survived, is that possible? Does anybody know? Is that possible if somebody survived the plane crashing into the tower? Is that even possible? Probably not. I would imagine not. So.
I would think not, but it was just. Just even thinking about it still, I get chills. So.
Yeah, I imagine, man. I have a couple dreams that I do remember that I definitely wish I didn't remember. When I do focus on them, it's not a pleasant experience. There's one that brings me to tears almost every time I tell it. So we're not telling it today, but dreams are powerful, and I'll like I said, I'll text I'll text Mr. X Dreams and let him know that you'll be emailing him. And you said your name's Alex, right?
Alec.
Okay. Sounds good, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you too, Tony. Keep it up.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too.
All right. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know. Like, he was 6 years old when 9/11 happened. I mean, I don't know. Like, Pearl Harbor was a bad thing, but it doesn't deeply affect me like it would have affected people back then. Trying to think of something that could have happened when I was 6 that... Let's see here. How old am I? So in 1991, I was 6 years old. What happened in that era? What didn't happen? Well, we're not going to go down that road. Conspiracies. When was OJ? Was OJ in like 92? I think OJ Simpson trial was like 92, 93 maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to put things in perspective. How a 6-year-old could be psychologically so affected to have such a dream in such detail. It does seem like there's more to that dream than just, oh, it was just his imagination. It seems like there could have been a lot more involved there. But if he contacts Mr. X Dreams, I think that Mr. X Dreams would have a much better grasp to help him than myself. I give a lot of validation to dreams. I just don't understand them like some people would. You dig what I'm saying, friends? What are we saying here in the chat? I can't see anything. My eyes are going bad. Oh, you guys are talking about the 103rd floor? Yep. Interesting. All right, friends, listen, nobody's calling in. If you guys want to call in real quick, go ahead, call in. If not, we'll probably wind this thing down. We did it together. Tonight, live here on YouTube. We did 20,000 subs, and we're going to keep growing. Maybe we'll do this again at 50,000. I think we can hit 50,000. Honestly, let's hit 100,000. Let's hit 100,000 by next Thanksgiving, guys. We can do it. Why not? Right? That's my name backwards. Why not? Let's do it. 100,000 by next year. We got a caller on the line. We're going to bring this caller on here from Milford, Pennsylvania. Man, Milford, Pennsylvania. I haven't been there in a long time. Caller, what's going on?
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, I love you.
Hey, turn yourself.
I'm calling.
Turn it down in the background so I don't hear myself.
Random thing. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So I'm calling because I had something so weird happen. I hear you on the TV and I hear you on my phone. It's so weird.
Yeah. Can you turn the TV down? Because I hear me too, and it's really messing me up.
I'll turn the TV down. My husband is.
All right.
So I know you're somewhat local. I'm in PA. I'm in the local New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania border.
I know exactly where you're at. Okay, because
I love it. I love it.
I did back in the day. I used to drive truck for a copying machine company called Rico, and I had to go to Milford, Pennsylvania, to do a copy machine swap for a little tiny print shop there in Milford. and I had to do it twice, and I hated it because the drive sucked. So yeah.
So
Anyways, go ahead.
We're on the border. Like you know exactly where we are.
Yeah.
Like we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And so I am from New York City. I moved upstate New York. I met my husband in high school. We made friends. So we made friends, obviously, in high school. And so New Jersey was a thing that we did. And it was Clinton Road. I know you've heard of it. I know you know what it is. So it wasn't my first trip. I don't know what trip it was to Clinton Road. But so I think it actually might have been my first trip. So my friend tells me, oh my God, you're going to get to this bridge where you throw coins off and you hear seance voices. It's the randomest thing, the weirdest thing. And I was just like, okay, let's go. It was like a half hour from my house. And we go. And we go, and we've been, after the first time, we have been so many times. It's not the same anymore. But we went to Clinton Road this one time. And I want to say it was the first time. But so we're sitting on this bridge because it's like a 90-degree turn. And so we're sitting in my friend's car. The roof is open, the skylight or whatever. And we're throwing coins out. And we're supposed to hear seance voices. After sitting there for a few minutes, we did not hear seance voices. The coins we threw out of the car came back and hit the car.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, I'm not joking.
She's lying, everybody. There's nothing to be worried about.
No,
she's lying.
I'm not. I wish I was. Because, like, it came back and hit the car where I was like, go! Get out of here. And, like, after that, they paved the road and they changed it. But, oh, my God, that first time, because I went home after. And I researched it, and it was like, oh, the coin's supposed to come back and hit the car. I literally got goosebumps. I started crying. I'm like, yo, Mom, this happened to me. Like, this happened to me. It was crazy.
Wow.
But, yeah, that's my weird. I know you're somewhat local.
Yeah.
To where I am.
Maybe not for
Northeast.
long. I might be heading to Tennessee, but right now, yeah. I mean,
I'm going down south too. I am.
Yeah. I think we're probably.
Oh, my husband has a Bigfoot experience too. I could switch over to him.
Sure, let's do it. But let me tell you real quick.
All right,
let me tell you real quick though.
Yeah.
You telling me that story has punched my ticket to visit Clinton Road now. You understand that? Like.
Oh.
Now I'm
boy,
going.
Call me. Let's go.
Now
because
I'm going.
like it's not the same. I am looking at my Bigfoot little man on my dresser right now. I am all about cryptids and the shit. This is what I do. Like, I have 3 kids. This is my how I.
Your guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but me and my husband, like, we're from this New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania border, and we used to hike a lot before we had kids. It becomes difficult after you have kids, but he actually called Wes recently, and I can definitely put him on the phone with you.
Everybody keeps talking about this Wes guy. I don't know who we're talking about. Like everybody keeps saying Wes from Sasquatch Chronicles. I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
Oh yeah. It's funny. I listen to you. I know you guys are BFFs.
Yeah. If we're BFFs, then why did he hang up on me today? No, I'm just kidding. He didn't hang up on me today. Like we talked on the phone the other day, and no, yeah, he did. I think. No, was it? I think he did. I think it was either today or yesterday. I called him. And it was one of those things where you like when you call somebody and it rings like once or twice and then it goes right to voicemail. You know they hit the decline button. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you?
Yeah.
Do you know who I am? Like, son, Google me. Like, how dare you? So no.
You're my kids. I'm sorry.
No, hey, I got kids too. You said hiking stops when you have kids.
I know you do.
I totally get it. Like, yeah, I mean, like pretty much independent life stops when you have kids. It's just it's over, you know. So
I'm not me anymore. Yeah,
no.
I'm mom.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about it here at the house. We're like, do you remember what it was like when we didn't have kids? I mean, we were married for 10 years before we had a kid. And we had 10 years of life, 10 years of experience, 10 years of independence, do what you want to do, having a great time. Like, we're married for 10 years. We've had 2 kids now in 4 years. Ben's turning 4 in December. We've had 2 kids in 4 years, and we can't remember any of the 10 years. We can't remember any of them. It's gone.
Exactly. We were together 10 years before we had our first. Yeah. And like we were married. We've been together for 17 years, but we were together for 7 years before we had our first. So it's like, do you remember what life was like? Like, it's like, oh my God, our house was so clean. Like there was so many silly things. We hike. Yeah.
I mean, like seriously, I'm on Instagram and I see these people making these Instagram reels and stuff, and they're it's like moms with their kids, and they have these like beautiful clean homes, and I'm like, you're not cleaning your house. You're paying somebody. You're paying somebody. You are paying somebody to clean your house because there ain't no way. It's like, I have 5 kids and I got time to do my hair and make this reel and feed. No, you ain't cleaning your house. You're not cleaning your house. You're not
ain't
feeding
doing nothing for yourself.
No, you're not feeding your kids. You probably got you're very rich. You got a house cleaner. You got a chef, and that all you do all day is make your reels and you're Instagram famous.
Yeah. You're paid for it. Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
I know. But I'll hand you off to my husband with his Bigfoot experience. I wasn't there for it, but I was on the phone. He called me for it. So I will pass you over to him. His name is Alex. And I hope you enjoy because it was,
awesome.
I hope you enjoy because I lived it at work. So, all right, here he is. His name is Alex.
Yo, what is up, dude?
Alex, what's going on, man?
Not too much, man.
What?
It's cool talking to you. Just because whenever we drive around, we're listening to your podcast, so this is trippy.
Man, I appreciate you listening. I do. So you're in Milford, Pennsylvania. Did you have this experience in that area?
So yeah, I think she mentioned it. So like we're kind of like we border New York, and at the time I was living in New York. But we bordered New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. And the experience I had was on the Appalachian Trail. So it was, I don't know if you're familiar with. I know you said you know where Milford is, but yeah, I was in the Greenville, Unionville area of New York when this happened.
Okay.
So basically, a little quick preface. I was super into backpacking at this time and the Appalachian Trail and through hiking, section hiking. I read a bunch of books on it. And one day my wife's at work and I'm at home doing nothing with myself. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on a hike from Unionville to High Point, New Jersey, which it's basically like it's an uphill hike. You're basically hiking a mountain up to a lookout point, and I basically packed a lunch, food and water. That was it. Like an idiot. Like I don't have a knife. I don't have anything with me. Just the bare essentials. And I go on this walk. And I started in Unionville. I made my way to Greenville. And as I'm going through Greenville, there's like a ridge to my left. Beautiful day out, man. Like perfect day. And as I'm walking, I hear walking, like bipedal movement, clear bipedal movement to my left. And there's, like I said, there's like a high ridge to my left. And they're walking off trail parallel with me. And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know. I know you. Well, no, yeah. So you are in the area, so you may have. I don't know if you've hiked the Appalachian, but it's a very
not up
frequented
there.
area.
Yeah, I haven't been to that area, but I mean down my way, I've been on the Appalachian Trail for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a very popular trail to hike, you know. So, like, I'm used to, you know, bumping into people constantly. You know, like me and my wife would go on day hikes, and we would run into, you know, over a dozen people sometimes. But I've never I've never had people that were off trail. You know what I mean? So I could hear them parallel to me, and I thought it was a little odd, you know. And I don't know if you ever done any research on Appalachian. You know, there's been some unsavory things that have happened on trail. You know, whether it's you know people getting attacked or just, you know, there's weirdos that kind of, you know, that frequent the trail. So I knew about this at the time, and I hear this, and I'm a little I'm puzzled. So this went on for probably like 5 or 10 minutes, and I didn't think much of it. And then at one point, I look over, the ridge kind of started tapering off, and I'm like, all right, this person should kind of be visible now. So I look to my left, and I see a black. At the time, and what's funny is I never thought anything of this story until I started listening to Sasquatch Chronicles and hearing stories that were similar. So I look over to my left, though, and I see what seems to be a person in all black. I when I called my wife, I said there's a person in a black hoodie. Like there's a person dressed in all black and all black hoodie, and they kind of covered their face with their shoulder. And kind of turned and then went over whatever ridge was left because like I said, it was tapering off, and that was all I saw. And I'm thinking like there's some punk kids following me on this trail. So whatever though, I keep going, and this went on for about 30 or 45 minutes, where I just kept hearing. I couldn't see these people, whoever it was or whatever it was following me. And then eventually I stopped, and I was just trying to, you know, gauge the situation. And I start, you know, when I would stop, it would stop. And then I would start walking for about a few minutes, and then I would stop, and the walking would stop. And this kept going on for a while. And they were always, you know, I could hear them, but I could never see them. And eventually I started getting a little freaked out. So I started jogging to try to make like a gap. Cause I got, you know, again, I read all these books. I'm hearing about, you know, these unsavory things that have happened. You know, some people are attacked on the Appalachian Trail and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I don't know if there's some weirdo following me right now. I feel like I'm being stalked. So I kind of start jogging. And sure as shit, you start hearing the footsteps start to pick up. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And eventually rocks start landing at my feet. There's a rock in front of, the first rock that hit was like dead in front of me. And then, you know, to the right of me, to the left of me, behind me, and I start getting a little freaked out. And you know, I start jogging a little more, And then I call my wife, and I kind of tell her what's going on, where I am. Like, I don't know. Like, this has been going on for like an hour now. These people are following me. I thought it was just somebody screwing with me. Yeah, I call her, let her know what's going on, and hang up the phone. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really try to. I started sprinting. I was actually at this point I was panicking, so I started sprinting, and now what I'm hearing is, I hear saplings breaking. I hear, like, it sounds like trees are breaking down. Like, it got way more intense when I started, like, trying to really start running and trying to create some kind of gap. And I eventually ran out of breath. I stopped. Again, they stop. And finally I found a road, because out in this area, the Appalachian Trail intersects with a lot of roads, and I can finally see a road. So I start sprinting my ass off towards this road, and again, rocks, fucking, oh, excuse my French, I don't know if I can curse on this.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, saplings breaking and stuff like that. I hit the road. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to run to the nearest house, and if they do follow me out here, at least I have, somewhere I can go to. But I want to say around 30 yards to the road, everything kind of stopped. I didn't hear anything, and I just kind of waited out there, and until I didn't hear anything. That was probably another 30, 45 minutes. And I eventually made my way back to my car, and it was uneventful from that point. And I never thought anything of this. I never thought anything of this experience. And then my wife she told you she's very into the paranormal thing, and we were going to a wedding. It was like a 4-hour drive, and we found a Sasquatch Chronicles. And I heard a story that was like mine, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And I'm like, is that, eventually a light bulb went off, and I'm like, I still don't know. To be fair, like, it could have been some weirdo on the trail, but with the rock throwing and the pacing out of the woods thing, it made me start thinking, like, if it was some sort of, Bigfoot encounter or whatever. And that's basically it. I don't want to embellish it,
No.
But if it wasn't for Wes's podcast, I never would have thought anything of it.
Yeah. Well, when you described it as like almost like crashing, and when you started running, it was running. You're just like, did it? It sounded heavy and big, right? That's why I'm assuming you made that sound.
Yeah. The footsteps were very prominent, and I heard trees cracking.
Yeah.
There were probably sapling trees. I couldn't see any of this. It was always parallel to me. It was never, like, I could never see any of it. I could just hear it. And that's why I called my wife at one point, because I was panicking, man. Like, I was really scared. And yeah, like, I could never see. The only time I caught a glimpse was when, like, it was like 20, 30 minutes when I first started my walk, and that was it. From there on out, it was just sound that I was kind of working off of. And then the rocks, though, like, it was that to me was when I kept hearing those stories from Wes's channel. That's what kind of tipped me off, and I was like, what is up with that? And the pacing, like, a lot of these people get paced out of the woods, and that's what it was.
So your experience with everything combined definitely sounds like Sasquatch. or as Bobo would say, squatchy. You know, like
Yeah.
that's a squatch, man. I was just talking to him last night,
Yeah.
and like I'm telling everybody listening right now, I can tell you, honest to God, Bobo is the same person, whether he's on TV or if he is just talking to you on the phone. He's the same person, and I'm sitting there talking with him, and he's just like, I'm just like, dude, it's so nice to hear somebody who's been around, just be authentic, you know, and not like there are people. I don't want to mention the bad side of it with people, but like there's been people that I've talked to, and you can tell, like, you know, they put on these fronts and stuff, and it's nice to be around people who aren't like that.
Right.
How did I get on that?
The funniest part, like, again, like, if I didn't listen to his podcast, I honestly kind of forgot about it. And then I kept listening to episode. Dude, I was probably 30 episodes in when that light bulb went off. I'm like, I'm sitting at work one day, with my AirPods in, and then finally I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, this sounds exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a clear glimpse. Like I said, I saw it, and I feel like there was one episode of Wes where somebody kind of described it the same way, where they saw someone in like all black, or I can't even remember. I've listened to so many of them.
That was my show, bro. That was my show. I have no idea.
It could have been.
It could have been. I don't know. It becomes a blur at some point, you know. Like,
that's what I mean. Yeah, my wife she started pushing all this stuff on me, and we're both hooked on both your shows. But yeah, like I really never thought anything of it, and then I kept hearing the rock throwing thing, or thing, and then yeah, that's kind of just. And that's when I started panicking. That's when I called my wife, because I almost got hit, like, dude, like a freaking softball-sized rock, like, a foot from my freaking head. And that's why I'm like, okay, someone's actually trying to, they're being clearly malicious here. Like, because if that hit me, I was getting knocked down.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's the thing, like with the rock throwing. So there's like, I don't know even how to say it other than there's a lot of people in the Bigfoot genre of thought that equate rock throwing to Bigfoot always. Now, with what you experience, it seems like I think you're spot on the money, rock throwing Bigfoot. But I do think that sometimes people discount the idea of haunted forest and poltergeist activity in the forest. And that is something that isn't really talked about a whole lot, but is a real possibility. But with you, the stalking, what you did see, the rock throwing, the sounds, the pacing, not, you know what I mean? Like it's classic Bigfoot right there. That's classic Bigfoot. Now, let me ask you this. Did you ever feel, all right, what do you feel like you escaped Bigfoot, or that Bigfoot was stalking you? Do you think that like you escaped the clutches of Bigfoot, or do you think Bigfoot was escorting you? What do you think?
So from the glimpse that I caught, it wasn't that big. Like you know what I mean? Like, from what I saw, it looked like a normal, well, I don't want to call it normal, but they weren't, it wasn't this like huge being, like I want to say they were, between 5.5, 6 foot tall. It wasn't that tall. So like after listening to his podcast, I'm kind of wondering if it was like an adolescent, Sasquatch that was just kind of, curious and just kind of messing with me. Cause it definitely, what I did, that it was literally maybe a 2 seconds of a glimpse, and that's being generous. And it definitely wasn't that big. It was all black. It looked like somebody with a hoodie, because it was probably 75 yards away when I saw it. So like you couldn't get like I couldn't see any kind of features or anything like that. But it clearly put its shoulder up, and it definitely made it look like it was trying to. It didn't want to be seen, kind of thing. And man, I honestly don't know. I do not know. But what I do remember is I was crapping my pants because it just it seemed like whatever was stalking me or chasing me, like they weren't happy, or again, it could have just been a younger one messing with me or whatever, but I was freaked out, man. And I wouldn't have called my wife if I wasn't that scared. I just wanted her to know where I was in case a body turned up.
Yeah. That's
they needed to know where to look,
No, I totally get it, man. I've been out on the around the Appalachian Trail. Definitely around the Appalachian Trail. I wasn't on it definitely as well because I was actually off trail when this happened, but I was out on Appalachian Mountain and I'm out there like off trail doing my thing. And I came across another person out there that looked like they were living out there. And it like the dude just stares at me like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. I have my gun on me. I'm like, I don't like if I have to kill this guy. like this is going through my head. I'm like, if this guy like goes crazy, do I like and I kill him? Do I report it? Do I just let it go? Like, I mean, nobody's gonna know, right? So like, I could probably just let this go. Like all this stuff's going through my head because I'm like, hey, how you doing? Just trying to play it cool, and he just staring. And I'm just, facial hair like crazy. It looks like he's been living out there by himself. And
yep.
And I'm walking, away like back in the direction of the trail kind of thing, and he's just kind of pacing me, just walking with me. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so weird. And eventually he veered off, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna kill this guy. Like I'm gonna have to kill this guy. It's crazy.
That's what I mean. Like when you're and that definitely tied into it. Like I was by myself, like again, like a complete idiot. All I had was food and water. I had nothing else with me to do a goddamn thing. So I didn't know what to think. I just did not know what to think. And luckily I hit that road, and I was sprinting, man. And then after that was it. That was it. But it freaked me out, and I never would have thought. Again, I just equated it to some freaking weirdo in the woods that was messing with me, and then I kept hearing these stories about getting paced out of the woods with rocks getting thrown at them and blah 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 on Wes's channel, and that's when I was like, maybe I did ever, but I was never into Bigfoot, man. I was never a Bigfoot guy until I found his podcast. And that's basically it.
There's always a gateway for people into these weird topics, man. You get started.
Yeah, I'm obsessed now. I'm obsessed.
Like you get started in one range, like just one topic, and then that topic almost always veers off into other thought processes, and you're like, hold on a second, wait a second, hold on a second. There's this. I'm really into this Bigfoot thing, but what's this dog man thing? And then you look and you're like, what? Everybody's seeing a werewolf? And you go into Facebook groups and you're like, why are you guys seeing a werewolf? And they're like, it's not a werewolf, man. It's a dog, man. They're two different things. And it's just like, it's like.
Well, that's the thing. You hear these people, like, that's my thing. Like, you hear there's no way these people are bullshitting. Like, because you can hear the emotion in how some of these people, tell their story. And I have a hard time believing that they're just, hey, I'm going to call this guy that has a podcast and hope to get famous or something. Like, dude, no.
Well, and here's the thing.
You could hear it in their voice that it traumatized the shit out of them, and they saw what they saw.
So I don't know about everybody else's shows and stuff, and I've said this before. I don't listen to other podcasts. I have enough of of a podcast of myself. I don't need to listen to anybody else's.
Yeah.
But I
sure.
can tell you that I know for Wes's show and my show, we rarely give out last names. We more often, if we give a last name out, it's because it's somebody that has a podcast himself or they're an author, things like that. But I'm not going to be blasting your last name on my show. I mean, it doesn't happen. So the idea of getting famous, what are you getting famous
Right,
on?
yeah,
Nobody knows.
Point.
Nobody knows who you are. You're Matt from episode 375. Like, nobody knows who you are. You know, it's just the idea of the fame is not really, in my mind, a legit debunking.
Yeah, no, you're
fact. The reality is people experience bizarre things, whether you want to believe them or not, whether you view their experience the same way they view it is irrelevant to the fact that they went through an experience and they find comfort in these types of shows to vent and share that experience and get off their chest to somebody who's not going to be like, you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing with this stuff is that people are scared. Like that. Like I'm not like that. Maybe I would be if, I don't know. I'm just not. Like, if I experience something like, yo, guess what I freaking saw last night, dude? Like, that's kind of how I am. But, I mean, there are people out there that they dare not talk about this stuff because they don't want to be looked at as crazy. Maybe it's their job. Maybe it's just the fear of rejection or whatever. And the fact that they can tune into a program that allows people to talk about this stuff, it's gold for them. You know, it's healing for them. I listen, man. I don't know what.
No,
else.
you're dead on, dude. You're dead on. You are dead on. Because he never exposes any of that stuff. You never expose any of that stuff. So I guess what I said was kind of null and void there.
Well,
but,
yeah, I mean, and I've heard that over the years. I mean, I've heard people say such things over the years.
Why waste? Why would you go out of your way that hard? You know what I mean?
And listen,
I don't know.
There is it impossible? No, of course not. Listen,
yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But I was trying to egg a guy on to come on my show because I know who he is and he doesn't know that I know who he is, and I know he's been a big troll of mine. And he reached out to me telling me he had these experiences and stuff, and he's telling me this whole story in the email, and I know who he is already. I know where he lives, and it's not matching up to his story and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, man, sounds great. Let's have you on the show, because I was going to expose his ass right on the show. But it didn't happen because he never responded to my email. But so, I mean, is it possible that somebody's trying to pull the chain? Of course it's possible. You try to vet those out as much as you can, but it's
right.
It's literally the longer these shows go. Like, I don't know what Wes is on, like 800 something. He's coming up on 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, it's up there, man.
Yeah,
it's up there.
Like this time next year, I'm gonna be looking at 500 episodes. Like you don't get 500 episodes in, and every single person was pulling your chain. Like it's
right.
It's just not how this works. And so I just. Listen, you do the best you can as the host of the show to authenticate people, but at the end of the day, I personally operate on the belief that this world is bananas, crazy. Reality is bizarre. Like, I don't have a grasp on it. I don't know what reality is sometimes. Like, it's crazy. Like, crazy. Like, if you just want to take the idea of the fact that there are people in this world who say that they're not conspiracy theorists, and by saying that are saying that they believe 100% of everything their government's ever told them is crazy. Like, reality is crazy. It's bananas.
Yeah,
and
nope, we're on the same page, my friend.
And so, like,
100%.
Yeah, and so, like, when it comes to like the paranormal and stuff, like, you think back to 1750. Like, if we could go back in time and I had my cell phone on me, they'd probably hang me for being a witch. Because reality, they had this set thought of what reality is, what is possible, and anything outside of that is impossible. It's not real. It can't be, or it's witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? So, like, reality is as far as you can perceive it. And I just think that as somebody who is a former truck driver and runs a podcast now, like, I don't got a great grasp of reality. Okay. I think that there's a lot of possibilities going on, and I'm not going to sit here and say to somebody on the show, I don't believe you experienced that because it doesn't fit in my worldview. How ignorant is that?
And if you actually, dive into, hey, I don't believe this, but let me hear, these people out there. And this is between your podcast and Wes's podcast. There is just way too many people who have had these experiences that it just don't add up, man. Like, there's no way there's that many people that have, I guess it is possible. I like to believe anything's possible. So it is possible that there's that many people with that much time on their hands to bullshit. Excuse my French again. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
Yeah. But it just, I don't know. And again, like, some of these encounters, you can hear how distraught they are, and for them no, man, I don't know. I don't buy it. And, I'm open to the realm of possibilities with all this kind of stuff.
Like, if you want to say, well, maybe like of the people that you interviewed, they're either lying to you or they're just confused. They're mistaken. Then you want to, okay. So not embellishing, just confused and mistaken. So like they're either lying or they're confused and mistaken. Then you take, okay, all right, let's take that. So now we're playing a numbers game, and a numbers game that is constantly evolving on a weekly basis for my show twice a week, where every week, at least twice a week, I have somebody on my show who is either lying or confused. Like, at some point, that number gets so big, you're playing the numbers game, and you're like, really? Okay, again, this week we had somebody either lying to me or embellishing to me and confused. Like, it doesn't make sense. To me, that's just the way I look at it. I humbly humble myself to my 20,000 subscribers on YouTube and say, I don't know everything. Okay, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean. Like, when I told you my encounter, like, I don't know. It could have been some jackass, playing games with me. But after after hearing story after story with the pacing and the rock throwing and the blah 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 blah, that's when I was like, I had like a chill go up my spine. I'm sitting at my desk at work, and I'm like, holy shit. That the same. I wish I can remember the episode that like made the light bulb go off. Like you said, he's got 800 some odd episodes. I can't track it down, but
yeah.
I mean that. I was just, dude, man. That's exactly what happened. And that's another thing I didn't mention, not to carry on here, but it got quiet, man. And I remember hearing that a lot too. Like, when I first started walking, you hear birds chirping, squirrels running through the foliage, blah, 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 blah. And I felt like when this was happening, it was like dead quiet. I can hone in on every weird sound that I heard, and dude, yeah, it was just it was scary. It was really freaky. And after I heard that, now I'm like, I'm kind of freaked out going into the woods and going hiking, and I don't know. I do not know.
Well, I'll tell you,
it's a freaky world we live in. That's what I know.
It is a freaky world, and I think it's about to get a lot more freakier. So
I think you're correct on that.
I think the longer we're here, we're exploring these things, the more enlightenment we will have on how things work, operate, what's real, what is possible. And the more we're enlightened on that, the more we're going to be faced with situations where we're like, am I going to reassess things? What am I like? This is crazy. This is crazy. If this is
you got to
true,
reevaluate. Yeah,
you got to start thinking, okay, if this is true, then how how does that fit with what I've previously thought and all that, you know? Like I think we might be getting to that point where things are gonna get a little dicey. It's gonna be fun though. It's fun. We're made for this.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
Listen, we live in 2021. We're made for this, okay? like, I mean, if there's anybody,
we have podcasts like you guys to listen to.
There you go.
The information's out there, man.
Maybe podcasts like ours is one of the problems. I don't know. Like maybe it's because of us that the information is leaking out.
Not a problem. Definitely not a problem
No,
as far as I'm concerned.
I hope not. I mean, people seem to enjoy themselves and stuff. Welcome to my house. Take your shoes off, sit back, relax, and listen to the stories. Take
your shoes off, huh?
After an hour, get out, you know? So
Yeah.
So but listen, man, I appreciate you sharing, and you know, listen, Milford, Pennsylvania, listen, Milton, Pennsylvania, right? Yeah, no, Milford. So, like, it's.
To be fair, we just moved here, so yeah, this happened. I was living in Westtown, New York, Farmville.
I'll tell you what, man. When I saw Milford, I was like, shoot, I got freaking listeners in Milford, Pennsylvania. If I got listeners in Milford, Pennsylvania, I'm doing all right, you know, because it ain't that big of a place. So if we got just one listener, it turns out I got 2 listeners in Milford, I'm good, you know. So
Yep.
All right, man. Listen, it was good talking to you. I'm gonna get to some other callers, and I'm gonna wrap this show up because I'm getting tired.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you listening, man.
For
Big
sure.
time.
Thanks for calling.
Anytime, dude.
All right, brother. Take care.
Have a good night.
See you. All right. That's interesting. See, my call-in studio here is so glitchy, so weird. All right, that was fun. That was a fun conversation. Milford, Pennsylvania. How about that? All right, friends, listen. I want to say something right now. I saw something in the chat that I got to address. All right, and when he was talking, I'm gonna call this man out, Donnie Cho. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not calling him out. Donnie Cho, Donnie Cho said he would love to hear Tony drop some F-bombs. Donnie, you'd have to catch me when the mics are off. I'm a professional. Listen, Donnie, I got a show to run, okay? And I can't come on here talking like a trucker, all right? I got to be professional. I got to think about the children. Now, if my guest curses, it is what it is. They said it, not me. But me as the host, I got to conduct myself a little bit more on the professional level. So I try not to drop the F-bomb, you know. There you go, Donnie. Maybe you'll have to catch me on the next trip because I know you were on the last one. So listen, I remember what I wanted to say earlier, but I'm going to save it for after this last call here. Or how many do we have here? I don't know if we're going to be able to get to them all, actually, to be honest with you. All right. Let's bust through these calls real quick. Let's see here. We got Virgil on the line. Virgil, what's going on, man?
Hey, Tony, just wanted to call and say congratulations on 20,000. That's awesome, man. You work hard, and it's a great number. It's going to go to 30, 40, 50. It's going to keep going. You're doing an awesome job.
How dare you stop at 50? How dare you?
Well, okay, so I know it's going to hit 100K, dude.
50,
I absolutely know. You're going to just keep going.
Subscribers. 50 million subscribers. I'm just kidding.
So, no, I just wanted to call and really say, you know, you put out an awesome show. Colin and I both really think you do a great job. You keep upping the bar, and I know people realize this, but maybe they don't acknowledge it. The sound quality, the editing that you do, all of that stuff is just top notch.
I appreciate it, man. The sound quality's been pissing me off the past few weeks, man, because I got this new mixer board, and I don't like the way my voice sounds on it. I've been tweaking it like crazy, and I'm getting it more honed into what I want. But I think it was not this Tuesday show, but previous Tuesday show, the intro, the outro, the commercial break. I was like, oh, that sounds so bad. I hated it so much. But apparently you didn't notice, which is good.
Well, remember, my friend, you're always your own worst critic.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing a great job, and you know where I come from a point of, I think you're called to do what you're doing. I think the times that we listen or that we're in right now are incredible. I think things are being revealed that, you know, our parents never thought of. I didn't really think of. I'm an old guy, and I'm learning new stuff all the time. And just keep doing it. You're doing a great job, and hats off to you. You're putting in the hard work, and it's paying off.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. Listen, I will not argue with you on that. The hard work was put in for sure. And it's one of those things where, like, and this is the hardest thing for people to break through on the mental level of this stuff, is that when you start something like this, like, you have, like, I mean, I would imagine, like, at least I did. I don't know about everybody else. Maybe somebody just starts a podcast and like, I don't care if one person ever listens or nobody does. I just like talking. For me, I had goals, and like, the hardest part about this is knowing that you have to put in so much work and hours and time into this, like a lot, to get to where you want to be. But knowing that even though you put all that time, effort, and work in, it just may never happen for you, and you may never wind up having reached the goals you set out for. And so it's like nothing's promised to you in the moment of the grind, but you know that if you don't do the grind in the moment, you're guaranteed never to reach that goal that isn't promised to you either way. Like, you could grind your life away and never reach that goal, but you're guaranteed not to have that goal reached if you don't try. And so it's just one of those things where I just buckled down.
100% accurate. Yeah. If you don't try, if you don't put the effort in, you will never get there. And my hat's off to you, because you're putting the effort in. I mean, to jump from a job where you go 5 days a week and you earn a salary into something that you're dependent totally upon what you do. And I've been there. I've been self-employed. It's a major jump, and you're doing it. You're doing a great job. You're going to be blessed in what you do. And I fully believe that for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mama didn't raise a stupid boy. I held my CDL for a reason, just in case. So I never plan for failure, my friend. Never plan for failure. Right. Yeah. I actually really miss driving truck, to be honest with you. But I had to quit something. It was either truck driving or the kids, or not the kids. It was either truck driving or the podcast. The kids, when my son was crying because he thought that daddy didn't want to be with him because I spent all my time in a truck driving for 12, 14 hours a day. And then every waking moment I had outside that was in my studio, keeping my podcast running, something had to go, like something had to go. So, I figured.
Well, you chose correctly, my friend. And the nice thing is it will grow to the point where you get to spend more time with your kids. And that's a wonderful thing. As a self-employed, individual, my kids worked with me, and I absolutely love the fact that I was able to share all of that time with my kids. So that's a special thing.
Yeah, it really is. I'm enjoying the transition, shall we say? It's been hard at times, but it's it's definitely worth it in the end. I see my kids a lot more than I ever would have driving truck, and it's nice in that sense. And I also felt like if I quit podcasting and just went back to just driving truck by my, solely, that's all I did, I think I would have let a lot of people down. And I figured, you know what, who am I letting down if I quit driving truck? My terminal manager. And so, who cares? But the idea, well, it's like he could say, well, I can
and
say,
for Donnie Cho, F the terminal manager.
So like, I could say, well, he'll just replace me. I'm just a truck driver. He'll replace me. I'm just a number. But in today's world, turns out it's not that easy to replace truck drivers. So the industry is 80,000 drivers short and looking to keep dropping in drivers. So, I think there'll be a job waiting for me if I need it. So
well, like I've told you before, if you ever need a job, you've got one in North Idaho.
Yeah. That's definitely not happening. But, I'll keep it in mind, I guess.
Well, my friend, keep doing a great job.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
You're doing it. And you're knocking it out of the park.
Thanks for staying on hold there. I see you were on hold for 52 minutes. That's a long time to be on hold. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. No problem.
Thanks.
Have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. See you. All right. We got another caller here, and let's bring this caller on. Andy, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Enjoying your live chat.
All right, Andy, listen. We got to address something here. You don't think I can read?
Yes,
Come on, man. Blah, 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 take my call. What is that? Come on, Andy.
What that was me being unprofessional.
I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
So what's up, man?
Hey, anyway, I've listened to that Enochian episode twice now.
Okay.
And absolutely fascinating episode. And you did not ask him very many questions.
No.
And he just kind of talked about it. And it was just absolutely amazing. But were you having questions to ask, or were you purposefully just letting him just go?
Yeah, I mean, one, it was such a long time ago, but I do remember that interview, and I approach it the same way with a lot of people and stuff. I let people dictate the flow of the interview, and so some people can take something and they can run with it and they just go. And I think, as somebody who started out listening to podcasts, I always felt like those were the best ones where somebody just took and shared, and just went with it. And with his story, it was so, like, you listen, it was like 2 hours long. It was so long, complex, and there were so many things that happened that were connected to one another. I didn't want to interject and stop the momentum and then have to pick it up again, because I felt like that would kill the story. I just wanted him to share it. And when people share a 2-hour story in pretty much one shot, it's hard to ask questions after that. I did do a follow-up with him. It's a members only show because of what he talked about. Like there are things that happened to him after that interview aired that he kind of wanted to keep it on, more of a private level. But we had numerous conversations. In fact, I was just texting him this morning about some things. So, I mean, and also, I mean, that was episode 122. I mean, I was a little over a year into podcasting, so I was still learning how to do it all. But yeah, I don't really, I really try not to interject people when they're rolling. Some people need the conversation. They need the back and forth and to help them transition and stuff. And some people don't need that. And I'm pretty flexible. I'll do whatever people want to do. But it's been a long time since I've done that interview. So I'm trying to remember what I didn't ask them.
Well, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy your podcast is you do let the person just tell their story and they're not interrupted. And this is the one where just like a couple more questions would have been just fantastic, but it almost sounded like he was talking about a really bad dream, and it was kind of hard to follow exactly what where the story was going, and I was getting lost a couple of times, and that was like the only time I was thinking this would have been the interview. Maybe ask one or two more questions, and I will be joining the members to listen to that other interview because that was fascinating and terrifying at the same time. That whole interview.
Yeah, it was a fascinating interview, and I also think, if I remember correctly, like going into that interview, in the conversations we had going into it, like if I remember correctly, he might even said this during the interview. Like he really didn't have a firm understanding of what he went through, what he experienced, and so in those kind of sense, I guess I would be interested to know what, if you had an example of what you're talking about, because like in those kind of situations, I mean, it's kind of hard to say to ask maybe some questions when the guest doesn't even really know what they went through. Like I just had that happen to me. What I was talking about earlier in this live, where I'm working on this huge story, and the person that kind of kicked this whole thing off, he's like a minor character in this whole thing, and he had like no idea if he was crazy or not. And when he emailed me, he didn't email me about the main story. He emailed me about this little tiny story that we talked about in the beginning, because I thought that's all we were talking about. And then all of a sudden we branched off into this whole other thing. And the reason why he didn't tell me in the email is because he's like, I don't know how to even say it, you know? And if I remember correctly, Charlie was kind of similar, where he was like, I had this experience, but I still don't know what it was. But it scared him enough that he had to leave the country. He's still out of the country. I'm trying to get him to come back because I want to have a sit down with him. But yeah, maybe this let me look up real quick maybe somebody in the chat knows. I don't remember what episode that Charlie episode was. I think it came out in August. But yeah, it was I don't know. I don't remember what episode it was, but it covered kind of like conversations of what he's been through since that interview aired. Some things have happened, and we also talk about his paranormal experiences and things like that. But yeah, I mean, if you have questions and stuff that you want to shoot my way, I'd be happy to ask them.
Well, I think that this episode was as remarkable as kind of like a Mel's Hole, kind of an Art Bell thing. It was so profound. And when I was getting at where it was like a dream sounding is when he showed up on the deck and everybody was frozen and the sea was going and the waves and the boat was moving, but everybody was still. I mean, how many of us would just not like run up to somebody and go, hey, what's going on? Why is everybody so still? But in a dream, you would act that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just very, very odd.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a good question. There was some things.
It just seems more.
Go ahead.
It just seemed more when he's talking about it. Just reminded me more of like a dream versus a actual event that happened. But I believe him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Him. I mean, like whether it was a dream or it actually happened. I mean, you gotta believe that the guy was telling you what he was remembering. But I would say this. Now that you're saying this stuff, it's kind of making my brain turn a little bit, and I gotta call. We were actually just talking about scheduling a time to talk and catch up on some things. What I was talking about earlier, and this crazy story I'm building, and this like it's so complex. It might involve him now that I'm thinking about it, and so I got to talk to him about some of his experience now and see if it might relate to what I'm digging up now. That's interesting. I just thought of that now. I'm so glad you called.
Well, hey, I'm a huge fan of both of your podcasts, and thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. And, man, now I got to make some notes here. I appreciate you calling, though.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye. All right. That was interesting because I just thought of something here. Let me write this down, and then I'll tell you guys the big announcement. I don't know if it's a big announcement, but it's my last thing that I wanted to share with you guys after, 2 hours, 2.5 hours? How long have we been going? I don't even know. All right, that's trippy. That is trippy. How about that? It gets deeper and deeper, friends. Holy crap. I can't wait to talk to him and see what he says, because if it's true, my goodness. All right. Here's the deal. We broke 20,000 subscribers today. Shout out to you guys for putting in all that hard work of hitting that subscribe button. Every single one of you should get a pat on the back because you guys helped us get here. I appreciate that. And I'm doing something a little different this year for Christmas. Everybody, maybe if you're new here, maybe you don't know, but I typically do some kind of Christmas thing every year. Sometimes I'm telling stories. Sometimes we have other people tell stories, playing music in between, all that jazz. I think what I'm going to do this year is, on Christmas Eve, I'm going to go live here on YouTube for a few hours. I'm going to start at noon Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast in like California, that would be 9 o'clock in the morning your time. If you're in Hawaii, that would be 6 o'clock in the morning your time. If you're in England, that would be 5 p.m. your time. Covered enough geography there for you. Listen, I'm going to go live, and I'm inviting a bunch of podcasters to come live with me, and we're just going to hang out. It's going to be a virtual Christmas party where, podcasters are just popping in and out. I could have like 5 different podcasters on at a time. Then 1 drops off, 2 drop in, 5 drop off, 1 drops in. Just going to be, pop in whenever you're free on your Christmas Eve kind of thing to the podcasters, and the same thing for you as the viewers. We're just going to be hanging out. And so Christmas Eve, starting at noon Eastern time for probably 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't know how long, however long the party goes. We're going to have podcasters popping in. We're going to have YouTubers popping in, all that stuff. And so it's just going to be a fun little get together. Not little. Hopefully it's big. I want you guys to show up, hang out, and maybe we'll open the phone lines if it gets a little dry in conversation. All that fun stuff. So if you guys want on Christmas Eve, if you're around, if you're available, I'm doing it at noon on Christmas Eve so that maybe, for you people who maybe are going to a church service or something, it's not really kind of interfering with that. You're probably just, maybe trying to escape the kids a little bit because they're already annoying you and you still got a couple days left with them, things like that. Go outside, go in the garage, go in your shed and turn on the Confessionals YouTube and watch the party. It'll be me and Jack here in studio, and we'll have who do I have? Some people confirmed here. We got Scott Walker from the Freaky Deaky Podcast, Charlie Robinson from Macroaggressions, Blurry Creatures, Dark Waters, Midnight Mike from OBDM Podcast, Mr. Extremes possibly, Mark Steves, George Bruno. George Bruno is not a paranormal guy. He's a little bit of a conspiracy guy, but not really. But his YouTube channel, George Bruno. George Bruno is one of the reasons why I am a content creator. George used to take care of my beard back in the day. He lives in the Philadelphia area, and he started a YouTube channel that when I met him was about 10,000 subscribers. And now, last I checked, he has like 165,000 subscribers. And he gives life advice, men advice, men living in 2021. How do you function? How do you live life in 2021 as a man? Things like that. Controversial things, for sure, for today's culture and the way people want you to think. But he helps a lot of guys, find their true manliness, natural manliness within, and helps them understand it's okay to be a man in 2021. And we have the Hollow Sky podcast guys coming on. There's plenty of other guys I haven't even invited yet that will be here. People just popping in and out and having some fun. So if you guys want, go ahead and mark that on your calendar and put a reminder on your phone on New Year's Eve day at noon. We're going live here on the Confessionals for a while, hanging out, having fun, open phone lines, answering super chats, help brother out, you know what I mean? Help me pay for the Christmas presents for my kids, put food on the table, all that good stuff. I love you guys. And this was a random live. I literally went live not having a plan in mind other than watching the ticker. And we broke 20,000 subs while we were live within the first 30 minutes or less. And I figured, okay, well, that happened faster than I thought. So I guess we got to find something else to talk about now. So I thought we'd be like, like New Year's Eve, you're gearing up for a couple hours for the ball to drop. And then all of a sudden I'm like, let's see if we can hit 20,000. Boom, done. Okay, now what? Okay. All right, friends. Listen, thanks for being here. Really, really do appreciate you all. The journey is just beginning. A phrase that I've been saying a lot more recently that I used to say back in the day is it's all about the journey. Life is all about the journey. And the journey for us is just beginning. We are just starting this. If you think we've accomplished a lot, we have, but you haven't seen anything yet. I am working on new ideas, new ways of doing things behind the scenes, in front of you guys, for you guys, everything. Like, I'm constantly working on this 24/7, trying to build something that is good and worth the viewing for you guys and listening for you guys. The documentaries, everything that I'm doing. I have a lot of goals, a lot of dreams, a lot of visions, and one day at a time, one effort at a time, we're gonna knock it out and we're gonna get there. Hang in there with me, and seriously, hang in there with me when it comes to this other story with a new podcast. Like, I promise you, when I drop that, you will be mind blown or angry. You might get angry at me, but don't direct it at me. I'm just relaying the story. Yeah. All right, guys, listen, I love yous. And until next time I go live, stay safe, take care, and remember, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. Bye.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up. I bet when I land, they gon' tell me it's luck again. See that I'm winning, it's harder to watch. I'm setting the stage, you should give me my prize. You ain't got no soul, you lacking the spirit. You talk out your neck, I'ma show you I'm with it. I don't really hate for you to sit and watch me win again and win again and win again. I know it's probably getting on me and when I'm synonym. So if I ever win again, just know I did the minimum. I didn't have to sell my soul. Oh, please don't play no games with me. It was never about the fame to me. They needed the best, so they came to me. Whoa, who the best in this thing? Tell them, yeah, that's me. Tell them who bring the vibe, say, yeah, that's me. Make it bang, ooh, yeah, that's me. Who make the party feel alive, tell them, yeah, that's me. I'm so proud of your boy when they ask, is that your man? Yeah, that's me. And if I'm taking a shot, I don't miss. Who knew I would be at the top like this? And no one made my goals for me, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, cause it's the path that God chose for me. So even if some doors close for me, I still won't let y'all close to me. So please step back where you're supposed to be.